buzzer comes on the same time.
Just made it.
Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Monday, March 2nd, 2026, and we will call this meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gary,
Here.
Commissioner Bauer,
Here.
Commissioner Talentino,
Here.
Commissioner Habusta,
Here.
Commissioner Marble,
Here.
Commissioner Rubenstein,
Here.
Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Commissioner Bosbus-Rath did call us and let us know she had a work conflict this evening, so she won't be here, so we need a motion to excuse.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? She is excused. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. On behalf of the commission, I'd like to offer condolences to the family of Tom Viam. Tom passed away at the age of 88, and he was very active on city boards. He was currently on the Sanderson Airport Board of Directors. He was on the famous Sioux Laux Boat Tours Board of Directors. He was a member of a Neamakan Hunting Club, and he was an original founding member of the EDC of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and he was also a member of the Sioux Savings Bank Board of Directors back in the day. So certainly give our condolences to the family of Tom Viam. Moving on, we have item C, which is public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to schedule a time to make any comments on any of our agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move right into item D, which is consent agenda. And we have Deputy City Clerk Erica Gordon.
Item 1, approval of City Commission meeting minutes of February 16th, 2026. Item 2, acceptance of DDA meeting minutes of January 14th, 2026. Item 3, acceptance of the Historical Development Commission meeting minutes of October 21st and November 18th, 2025. Item 4, acceptance of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting minutes of October 28th, 2025. Item 5, acceptance of the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting minutes of January 20th, 2026. Item 6, sorry, I lost my spot. Item 6, acceptance of the Sault Ste. Marie Housing Commission meeting minutes of January 15th, 2026. Item 7, reappointment of Levi Crone and Heidi Wilson to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Item 8, consideration of amended uniform guidance policies, federal awards, policies, and procedures. Item 9, consideration of EDC corrective action plan to the Department of Treasury. Item 10, consideration of small, rural, and tribal body-worn camera program grant application. Item 11, consideration of declaration and notice, MNRTF grant TF 19-0110 Alfred Park Enhancement Project. Item 12, consideration of Roan Construction final change order number 13, final payment number 25, and Carbide Dock project update. Item 13, consideration of Baco Construction change order number 4 for Peck and Meridian Improvement Project. Item 14, consideration of a contract with the State of Michigan for the annual purchase of road salt. Item 15, consideration of bid award for pipe and fittings for West 14th Street Water Main Replacement Project. Item 16, consideration of a 2% funding request to the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians for the purchase of radio equipment for ambulances. Item 17, consideration of a 2% funding request to the Tribe of Chippewa Indians for the Sioux Theater Project stage wiring and new lighting. Item 18, approval of consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you very much, Deputy Clerk Gordon, on a long consent agenda. Does any commissioner have any questions or like them removed for individual consideration? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I asked this question, but just for clarity's sake, in regards to the amount of road salt purchase, that's consistent, I'm told, with what we normally purchase, and I think that's important to note.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Commissioner Bauer.
So moved, we approve tonight's consent agenda.
Support. So motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into E, special orders of business. Number 1, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1 is public hearing on the submission of a grant application to the Michigan Department of Natural Resource Program for trail development and access improvements at Ashman Creek Preserve. I'm going to turn this over to City Engineer David Boyle. And he's going to bring Ken Hopper from Outhouse Consortium.
Good evening, Dave and Ken. Long Monday?
Yep, long
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah. Okay, so we're back with the trail that we were here a couple of meetings ago about. We're working on a MDNR grant for the trails. So part of this is we have to have a public meeting tonight. Have Ken just talk a little bit about the trail and then open it up for the public meeting, and then the other one is a resolution of support from the council that we have to use to put in the grant application. So with that, let's see if that goes.
It's up already.
There you go.
Yeah, as far as the public hearing goes, I can answer any questions, but I think we've come to the council enough to know, but a quick update as to where we are at with the project as a whole. We've gone through all the steps to get the land contiguous to begin with, and that was a chore. And then we did the conceptual work, which was part of the process, and that was a little spendy, so we fundraised for that for a number of years, and the city helped with that. And then we did the design work. And once the design work was completed, part of that was the wetland delineation in that as well, and that was part of the process. So we got that all completed this past fall, so we're moving along as we had proposed. And then we were awarded the SEAL funds through the city as a match, and the Michigan Natural Resource Trust Fund grant came up, and I saw an opportunity to use the city funds to match 36% to the Michigan Natural Resource Trust Fund grant, which would then bring our operating budget for construction, or the next phase, up to about $400,000, which would be a lot more effective than us fundraising for a number of years to get to that point. So what does this do? Well, hopefully it leverages more funds to bring us to project completion and then to the future, right? But in order to satisfy the Michigan Natural Resource Trust Fund, we have to have this public hearing, and we have to have a resolution through the city to proceed as stated in the document. So if you guys have any questions, or anybody has any questions, we have a big enough group here where I think we should be able to answer any of the questions that we have. We have a 12-person board now, so we're ready to move forward and update our website and proceed with things in 2026. So if you guys have any questions, fire away.
Certainly a great project, and we appreciate everybody from the board attending. So before we have the public hearing, does anybody have any questions up front? Yeah, so what we'll do first then is we'll move into public hearing section. So we will hold a public hearing on the submission of a grant application to the Michigan Department of Natural Resources MNRTF program for trail development and access improvements at Ashman Creek Preserve. Is there anybody in the audience that has any input at this time? So it's a public hearing on grant application. Going once, going twice, so we will close the public hearing and now go go to the commissions. So Commissioners, Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you. Mr. Hopper, can you explain to me a little bit about your plan for maintenance, including funding of that maintenance for this project?
Well, we're fundraising not only to complete the project, but in order to follow through on our end of the bargain, we need to perpetually fundraise to have a maintenance budget, to have proper equipment to move forward. So that's the plan.
And I guess on my follow-up question would be for the acting city manager, if they're not able to fundraise for maintenance and maintenance is not done on that trail system, what then happens? Does the trail system just go back to the land? I mean, what do you foresee as happening if that's the case?
So we do have an agreement with Outhouse for the maintenance of the trail. The trail is being constructed on city property, and so it would
We have a
become,
memorandum of understanding.
yeah,
so
and so
we need to-
it will be a city asset on city property.
Thank you.
I can
All right.
put some stuff in there too.
City engineer.
Because, yeah, we have to put in a maintenance plan. That's a part of the grant application, and that has to be in place for perpetuity of the park, which is good, it's about 30 years. So you have to have the financial resources and you have to have the plan to do it. So that's all gotta be in there to get the grant money.
This isn't anything foreign. If you look at municipalities across Michigan and the United States, you see projects like this get done because of groups like this. And they take on a life of their own, and the community takes hold of it and says, yeah, this is a great resource, a great asset, and we're willing to jump on. We've got, part of our plans for 2026 is engagement of volunteers. Like, we've got names, we've got lists of volunteers, we just need enough projects to engage them and somebody to coordinate that within our group, so. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for Ken or Outhouse Consortium? All right, so we would be looking for a motion to adopt the included resolution which approves the local unit of government match and authorizes submission of the grant application. So we'd like to make that motion. Commissioner Rubenstein.
Motion to adopt the included resolution which approves the local unit of government match and authorizes the submission of the grant application.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's an exciting project. F, communications. We have an update from Sault Ste. Marie Convention and Visitors Bureau, so. Linda Hoth, if you would.
I know, I only have 5 minutes.
You actually have 10, I was gonna slight you some time.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, and Interim City Manager Robin. Thank you for having me tonight. I just wanted to bring up some stuff and let you kind of know what we've got planned for the next year. And it's quite a bit. I'll tell you, budget was approved earlier this year, and we're moving forward. So for some of you that don't know, though, we are a public act. We are not a part of the city of Sault Ste. Marie and tax funds through the city. We are a public act, a PA 59. And it's from every hotel room that is sold. There's a 5% assessment. That's how we are funded. So the Sault Convention and Visitors Bureau is dedicated to enhancing the well-being of the members, which is our hotels, the local community, the region, and the state of Michigan by positioning Sault Ste. Marie as a premier travel destination. Through innovative marketing strategies, strategic partnerships, and the effective use of technology, we work to increase occupancy, stimulate economic growth, and support sustainable development of a prosperous future. Our marketing focus for this year, and we have probably about a 5 to 10 year marketing outlook for us, but right now I'm just giving you this year. Okay, our 2026 budget reflects strategic and proactive investments in tourism growth, brand positioning, and measurable economic impact for the Sault Ste. Marie. The overall financial is the total projected revenue is $1.31 million this year. And I can let you know that $250,000 of that comes from, will be the ending of the grant. The grant will end probably this spring. Right, Dave? Right. We'll end this spring, and we'll get paid back some of the money, so about $250,000 of that is the grant. The revenue comes from room assessments, interest penalties, and grant income. The budget is structured to reinvest tourism-generated dollars directly back into the marketing and visitors attraction efforts. A significant grant component allows us to amplify our reach without increasing local financial burdens. And that's one of the biggest things when we went after the grant, was not to have to burden the community on this. And we did it. I mean, it ended up being about $30,000 from the community going into a $2.5 million grant. So that's pretty darn good. The marketing investment in 26, approximately $1 million, is dedicated directly to marketing and visitors development initiatives, reinforcing tourism as an economic driver for the community. Key marketing investment areas is the digital internet marketing at $285,000. Paid digital advertising campaigns, targeted audience segmentation, geofencing, and behavioral targeting, which we're doing a lot more of, search and programmatic ads, website and online visitors conversion strategy. We have a new program this year for the first year, the first full year will be this year, and it is called Placer AI. And we can actually go in and see how many people are in different areas, right down to one building. We can tell you in a different, who's there. So, I mean, it's really good for us to be able to match where we've been marketing and match who is coming. Okay, measurable ROI, direct booking influence, year-round visitors engagement. Event marketing, promotion of signature events, which is usually our I-500 and Engineers Day. That's our signature events. Support for festivals and community attractions and seasonal visitor drivers. I can tell you this year coming up, we have sponsored Uper Running Company for 3 races. One to start this month. This is March. So this month. And then 2 other ones. And the Sioux International Festival of Races is one of them. We have a huge fishing tournament coming in at the end of July. It's actually 2 tournaments. It's the Master Walleye Circuit and the National Team Championship. So those are national. People come from all over the country. The tournament is 3 days, but they're normally here to up to 10 days. So, you know, they're going to be spending money eating and a lot of gas, that's for sure. So there'll be a lot of people in the community, and wait till you see those boats coming in. So this is pretty exciting. Just that economic impact on those national team champions is about $3 million. And so we can take a look at that. You're bringing money into the community. So it's what we do. And the hotels fight over them, and the local businesses have got to attract them in. That's how it happens. You know, we do the hard work of putting it all together and making sure we have everything ready. State and regional partnerships and multi-community campaigns, cross-promotion initiatives, leveraging region tourism strength. We partner with Pierre, Michigan. We partner with Upper Peninsula Travel and Recreation and other organizations in the area. So we're always partnering. Video production, professional destination storytelling. That is our new thing this year, is a lot more storytelling. We'll be doing a lot of behind-the-scenes type things. We may even get on a freighter this year, so, well, I know we are, but I just don't know the date and when. So, and we'll be able to talk to a captain and have a story behind it, and he's from the UP. So it's that story behind the story is what's great. People really connect to it. Okay. Digital contents assets for multiple platforms. We do a lot of digital. You don't get to see a lot of what we do because it's out there. It's way out there. We push it way out as far as we can. We know where our visitors are coming from. I know that 70% of the visitors come from Lower Michigan, and the rest come from across. So, yeah. And we have promotional materials, visitor's guide, promotional materials, like we got maps and people use at the hotels and the different things. Anybody can use them. I know the boat tours ask for them. A lot of different people ask for them. So we print them so that they have them and they can direct people around the community. Okay, additional channels include in the strategy. Our strategy is not just digital, because we still have to do more than digital. Even in our magazines, we try to send them to the website. We do the QR codes for everything. So we have magazines, we have radio and TV, and of course, traditional digital media integration in meetings and conferences. So, and that goes with our convention. We've helped bring conventions into the area too, so. The 2026 strategy maintains a healthy media mix with a strong shift towards high-performing digital platforms while still leveraging traditional media for regional reaches. So you do every now and then see a TV ad and different things for an event that's happening here. It'll be in our area, so. The strategic marketing priorities, drive overnight stays. Well, if they don't spend the night, we don't make any money. We can't put more money back into the marketing. So we have to have overnight stays in our hotels. And since I think I was looking at 2007 budget was $300,000, and I think we're making where we need to be. We're up to $1 million coming in, so it's really working over the years. We're constantly working on how to extend the tourism season. Our fall and winter has picked up a lot. Our January, February is a lot better than it ever was before, so it is picking up. Fall is not easy because we never know when it's going to arrive. But we do keep track, and we keep putting it out there and letting people know. Increase our event-based travel, promote events as economic anchors that generate multi-day stays. In which we're seeing a little increase since the pandemic. We're seeing an increase of the multi-day stays. It's not just overnight here and gone. And I think the pandemic helped us with that. There is some positives there, but not a lot of fun. Maximize grant leverage, which we have done in the last year and finishing up this year. So tourism marketing is not an expense. Everybody thinks it's an expense. It's not an expense. It's an economic development investment. Room assessment revenue is directly tied to hotel occupancy. Increased visitation supports local hotels, restaurant, retail business attractions, seasonal and full-time employment. Every dollar invested in destination marketing works to return multiple dollars into the local economy through visitor spending. And we can do an economic impact on different events. We have that information and be able to do it with our new Placer AI. It's going to even be better. Why does this matter to the city? The 2026 budget reflects a strategic, data-driven marketing plan designed to keep Sault Ste. Marie competitive in a regional tourism market, sustain and grow local tourism revenues, support local businesses, strengthen the community and economic resilience. This budget position for the Sault Convention and Visitors to continue being a primary economic driver for the city through focused, measurable, and responsible marketing investments. And the last thing I have to say is tourism is more than marketing. It is community pride in action. When visitors choose Sault Ste. Marie, they are choosing the people, businesses, events, and experience that define who we are. We invite residents, business owners, and community partners to take an active role in welcoming guests, sharing our stories and participating in local events. A friendly interaction, a well-maintained storefront, or a shared social media post all contributes to the overall visitor's experience. The success of our tourism efforts depends on collaboration. By working together, we create a vibrant, welcoming community that benefits not only visitors, but the families and businesses who call Sault Ste. Marie home. So if anybody has any questions, I could go into, if anybody wants any more detail, anybody can come to our office and I can give them detail. But I only have 5 minutes, so,
Thanks, Linda.
but anybody's welcome. I mean, just give us a call, we'll set up a time. If you want to come and see what we do, we can show you what we do. What we do is not here, even though we do a lot here. But, you know, but basically, it's outside of here. And when we take $1 million and put it out there, you know, it makes a huge difference in this community, and I can see the difference over the years.
Anybody
So-
have any questions for Linda? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you. Thank you for giving the report. Thank you for explaining the funding. I think that's something that many members of our community don't fully understand how the CVB is funded. And I would also add that PA 59 reports are available online for people. So if
Yeah.
they want to see your audits for the past however many years, if they want to see your marketing plans for the past however many years, those are available online. I actually spent some time looking at them, knowing that you were going to be here today, and clean audit reports for years and years and years and things like that, which is great to see. I do want to remark too, I think this is why it is important for this commission to oppose any bill at the state level to remove local control of the short-term
Yes.
rental market. I think it's very important that we speak out in Lansing against that. I think it's really important that we maintain control over the short-term rental market here at the local level so that we can continue to push funding for marketing through these assessments. So I think that's really important. I think we need to do that. I do want to ask two or three questions. One of the things that I noticed that constantly culture and history is an area where you all push in your marketing plan. Our historical homes have struggled over the years. Is there any opportunity there for the CVB to be involved within that aspect of things?
Well, yeah, and actually we have been. I work with the Historical Society, and I work with quite a few people. I want to let you know that it's really hard to, when they're only open from the end of June until Labor Day, to get people to go down there, because our marketing is 6 months out. You know, because right now, winter is not even, hasn't been on our radar for probably about 2 months now, because we go 6 months out in order to get people to want to be able to see us to move forward. We do help them. We do put them out there when we know that they're going to be open from this and this. We do a lot of that. Like I said, but it's not here. You're not going to see it. But I work with them, and
Wonderful.
yeah.
The other question I wanted to speak with you on was a couple years ago, you had the Great Lakes Sports Commission come to the region. I know you serve closely with them by being on their board of directors. What opportunities do you see through the Great Lakes Sports Commission to, when we talk about things like expanding overnight stays and things like that, what opportunities do you see within the recreational sports market to really expand overnight stays?
Well, the Sports Commission is more of a grant funding opportunity where they bring in big events. And actually, I'm working with them right now on another fishing tournament, a big fishing tournament. And of course, we'd have to come up with the funds for it, and it'll be really huge. But they bring in, they'll actually, like they just did an event down in Boyne for golfing last summer. It turned out really good. And it's about, they'll put money into those type of things. But it's, for us, it was how I got on their board. I wasn't even on their board, but I applied for a $150,000 grant. And when the new person came on board, he just happened to be coming up here, and I made him come sit in the office, and I handed him the proposal that I'd had in for 6 months. He said, "I never even saw this." I said, "Well, now you have." And we did get $150,000 from them. So a lot of that will be for infrastructure type things, but they do events, and we are working on a fishing tournament. I'd like to be able to put in to have it here, and it would be bigger than what I'm doing this summer. But that takes a lot of volunteers and a lot of people coming out and being a part of. Even this one this summer, we need volunteers to help us. We're a staff, when I first started, it was just 2 of us. And actually probably about 1.5. And now we do have 5 full-time employees and 1 part-time. And it's still, we need probably at least 20 people helping us at this big fishing tournament. So it's about getting volunteers, it's about doing those things. So the sports commission, and that's how I ended up on the sports commission. After I got the grant, they said, well, why don't you be on our board? So, and I still am, and we are a member. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, even all the stuff that's going on in the community, if they put in for grants, because we talked to you about it, you know, Lake State and the pool. I mean, there's still grants out there, and there's still money, but it's about actually making more money too, to get more money in. It's the same, like we all have. We have to do that. But I thank you for bringing that up. I mean, there's a lot of different organizations I am a part of. And once we can get our lovely Canadians back, I'd be really happy. So it's, which was down about 29%, which doesn't really affect the Convention and Visitors Bureau, but it does affect the businesses in this community. So, anybody else have a question? Yeah, and I want to let you know too, we will soon have not just a regular audit, but we'll have a federal simple audit happening with the grant. And anybody can find our stuff on there. You can find anything that we do on that website, because every year we are audited, and it takes, you know, takes a lot of work and accounting.
Do you have one more? You good? Okay. Thank you so much, Linda. You do a ton for the community. Certainly, we've always talked about tourism is economic development, and the CVB drives that. And the other thing you do is you help us to enhance our image through I Love Sault Ste. Marie, and you have over 170,000 followers, and I know that
I think it's closer to 200 now.
pictures you put
but-
out there, you have had millions of hits, and so
And I-
it's good. People love the Sioux, and people love to see positive things about the Sioux, and you're driving that on social media, so we appreciate that.
And I think that's why it's important we all put positivity out there and not the negative. We got a lot of good. We have a lot of good things happening, and we got to keep reminding people of the good. Sometimes we get wrapped up in the bad, and I don't have time for that. So if anybody wants to see anything, I can show you our everything. We're not afraid to show us anybody what we do and where we go and what our financial status is.
Thank you. Have a great night.
I guess I took more than 5 minutes.
I knew you would. So under F, Communications, we have an update from Face Addiction Now, and with us tonight are Michelle Benson, Sabrina Neveu, and Lynn Farquist.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm Lynn Farnquist, and I'm going to ask you to indulge us. I'm going to share the responsibilities here with a couple really hard-working board members. I'm very fortunate to have the board that I do. And they're going to each do a part of the presentation, but I promise we'll keep it under 10 minutes. Michelle's going to say a little bit about FAN and who we are, for those of you who don't know. And Sabrina is then going to talk about a workshop that we have coming up that is really very important to us. And then I am going to unabashedly beg for your support when they're done. So I'll turn it over to Michelle here. Thank you.
Hi,
Thanks.
I'm
Good
Michelle
evening.
Benson. I'm a board member for Face Addiction Now, or FAN, formerly Families Against Narcotics. I'm also a teacher in the Rudyard area schools. Is everybody on the commission familiar with FAN? Yeah, great. So we are dedicated to providing awareness and education, reducing stigma, increasing recovery supports, and strengthening community responses to substance use and addiction. And like Lynn said, we're here together tonight to look for your support for an event we have coming up, and hopefully you'll share it out. And we have Sabrina with us, who is our new community outreach liaison that we were so fortunate to be able to put under contract through opioid funds in 2026. So we're really grateful about that, and she's got some further information for you.
Yeah, we're really excited to announce an event coming up. Lynn might have shared the folder or the flyer with you in your packet, but if for those who are not familiar with it, it's we're inviting the community to an interactive event that will allow participants to experience the first month of life after incarceration through a structured role-based simulation. Attendees will navigate real-world barriers such as housing, employment, transportation, supervision requirements, and treatment access, which will allow you to gain valuable insight into how systems either support or unintentionally hinder successful reentry into our community. We'll be doing a lot of things on this interactive day. We'll also hear from some lived experiences and also from an effective intervention model based out of Traverse City. We'll hear from Jessica Holm. And at the end of the day, we'll be hosting a cross-sector discussion focused on identifying the strengths and gaps in Chippewa County's current response. So we're just really excited and hope that you will consider joining us in this important conversation. The event is on Friday, March 20th from 9 to 3 in partnership with Lake Superior State's Library. And we'll be featuring, I mentioned Jennifer Holm from Traverse City and Jean Marriott, who is from she wears many hats. So she is from the Michigan Center for Rural Health, as well as the Northern Michigan Opioid Response Consortium. Thank you. The logo is very small. And I will turn it over to Lynn, who will share the importance of why we're hoping that you will be able to make an appearance and share the word out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sabrina. So now I'm going to, like I said, unabashedly ask you for your support. You have been very supportive of our efforts in the past. I do want to report a couple things that we just had happen. We've just placed a couple more of the large floor Narcan dispensers. One's going to Pickford Library, is already in Pickford Library, one's going to Whitefish Point. We're trying to get them into outlying areas where emergency help isn't always, as quick. So anyway, we're placing those and very happy to get those in as many spots as possible. This workshop, though, is a big deal for us. I heard about this last spring. I read about it, and I contacted the people involved, and it turned out that their grant was only for the northern part of Lower Michigan, and she said she would look into it and see if she could bring it to Chippewa, and she got permission to do that. So there was a workshop downstate that I was able to attend. I wanted to go down and see if it felt like a good fit, and it did. I mean, it was very impressive. So I'm going to read this because I don't want to forget anything in here, which I kind of kick myself for afterwards when I try to ad lib. But anyway, we really need participants from law enforcement, health departments, judicial agencies, community leaders, housing agencies, business owners, churches, hospitals, everyone to participate, really. The more who go through this, the better. I don't think people realize how, even though a person's time in jail is done, we keep punishing the person, adding to life's difficulties. And that has many just turning to old habits, or where we inadvertently make them feel they fit in, unfortunately. The consequences are jail time again, Recidivism rates are terrible. But this workshop helps us see how that happens. And then the discussion afterwards is, what are we going to do about it? What can we do collectively to do about this? And by getting people from the different agencies to come and go through the workshop itself, listen to the panel afterwards, and look for where we can plug those holes, fill those gaps in help, is going to be what really matters. So we encourage you to all come and get as many people from the community fired up about coming. The workshop itself is in the morning, and then we'll have further information later on in the afternoon to kind of connect the dots and get some people to take a look to see where change is needed. And we hope to bring all the agencies together to work together at this. So any support you can be to us in encouraging city department heads and people working for the city to come, would really appreciate it. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Lynn. And it's Friday, March 20th, from 9 till, or 8:30 till 3 at the library at LSSU.
Yep, at Sholdis Library, right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you very much. We appreciate your
Yep.
passion and
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
thanks. And again, thank you very much to Lynn, Sabrina, and Michelle.
And a last little plug to follow our Facebook, Fan Chippewa County, for all the great events we have going on.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll move into item G, business items, number 1, acting city manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1 is consideration of change order number 2 for Myron Construction for the CWSRF wastewater treatment plant improvements Phase 2, and City Engineer Boyle is going to present on this request.
Welcome back, Dave.
I'm back. Okay, so the last time I was here, we were talking about the treatment plant that was for Phase 1, which is the front part of the treatment plant. This one is Phase 2, the middle part of the treatment plant. Just a couple of items. The small one is for changing the door swing, and it's all goes to an interpretation of code. So it's going in the electrical room, so we're going with the electrical code guy, so we're gonna have to change the way the door swings for that one. The other one is the overhead doors in the service building. Currently they have old roll-up doors, and we wanted to put in some nice paneled insulating doors. After the contractor got in there, we started looking around. With the new mechanical, we have to put in the old mechanical. It's already in there. It doesn't look like the panel doors are gonna work, so we have to go back to the roll-up doors, and they get insulated roll-up doors. Of course, it's cost a little bit more money. So that's what the second item is, so.
So you're saying there's a conflict between Michigan Building Code and Michigan Electrical Code? Yeah.
So on the, everything that we're doing is, we're still under budget. We watch that every day. Like I said, every Friday morning we have a meeting, we go through all the budgets, so.
All right, anybody have any questions on this item for city engineer? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve change order number 2 with Myron Construction in the amount of $20,467.60 and authorize interim city manager to sign. So, Commissioner Marvel, would you like to make that motion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion to approve change order number 2 with Myron Construction Company, Inc. in the amount of $20,467.60 and authorize the interim city manager to sign.
Support. So we have motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. G, business items number 2, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 2 is consideration of professional services agreement with OHM Advisors for a department facility study, and City Engineer Boyle is going to present on this as well.
Didn't think you were going very far.
No, I saved a few for the next meeting too, so. All right, so, right now, our department, we've been looking at a number of building issues going on in the city. You know, just a few of them, like ownership with the police department and where they might want to be, and, you know, what we have to do to that building. We got the park storage building might go away, dial ride building, which is in pretty dire straits. DPW building, which we've known for a few years now that has a problem. Fire department would like to have some more space. So we have all these things that we've been trying to take a look at. Over the years, the city's done a really good job of, you know, getting like facility studies, facility plans, looking at finding out what everybody needs. So we have a number of studies on all of these buildings, but the one thing that we don't have is kind of a plan to take a look at the different options with the buildings. And when I say that, there's things that we're looking at, maybe like with dial ride, maybe half of the dial ride building is dial ride, the other half is bays for DPW, or maybe we make the police department there. That's just one option. You know, where are we gonna put the parks storage building, if that goes away? The DPW building, you know, that's like the treatment plant, 1958, right? It was a building, temporary buildings for the bridge, and they have a lot of things, so. We have all these things going on, and maybe we could, you know, combine things together, or things have to be done separately. But we, you know, we don't know. We would kind of like to take a look at all these studies, take a look at all what we have, the options that we have, and maybe come up with a plan on that. And part of that plan would be looking at where we can get money, right? So the dial ride probably has the easiest place to get money through MDOT, because UPTA just use that money to build a brand new building. But then the other facilities don't have so much. But if we can combine them with something else, maybe we can find other ways to do it. So what we're proposing to do, and we talked to OHM about this because they did the two biggest studies with the DPW building and dial ride. And they do a lot of these municipal type planning for buildings and stuff. So we've come up with a little bit of a plan here. So we do this in 3 phases. We kind of validate everything that we have right now and look at those and make sure you're up to date. We kind of look at the site selection areas, because that would play big for the different types of facilities that we're going to use. And then the big one would be identify potential funding sources, and then some kind of a time frame to try to work that out. So that's it in a nutshell. So engineering and public works for the budget on this, we both have some consulting areas, so we both are going to split this cost to try to get this plan put together, so we can take a look at this.
Thank you very much. Did you have any comments, Acting City Manager?
No, City Engineer Boyle covered it pretty well, but
Okay.
over the course of time, we have had, individual studies that looked at individual operations or departments, and this will give us a comprehensive overview of the departments and how we can, leverage the best decisions going forward, whether it's, incorporating dial-a-ride in police or dial-a-ride in DPW or police and fire, but we need to have those conversations. There is funding that was set aside many, many, many years ago for the Public Works Building Fund, which currently has $759,800. So we're gonna take a bit of that for the study in conjunction with engineering's contracted services, but it is something across all of our departments that we need to look at and have a plan going forward and something to work towards. So OHM laid it out quite well for us, and I think it's a best option for us to go forward.
Thank you very much, Acting City Manager. Any questions or comments for City Engineer? Commissioner Habusta.
Thank you. I was waiting for somebody else. I would ask too, one of the areas, within the proposal, there's 3 primary tasks, but I think there might be a 4th area, and that's identify potential partners within these projects. So is there an opportunity to partner with a local university? Is there an opportunity to partner with a county resource, whatever that might look like? I think that's something, and that might be part of the funding sources. I did ask the question about, is this something that could be done in-house? And I was told that it's a little bit beyond the capacity of the engineering department to do this in-house as well. So I just want to share that. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Anybody else have any input, questions? Commissioner Bauer.
So moved, we approve the professional services agreement with OHM Advisors in the amount of $16,100 for the department facility study and authorize the interim city manager to sign.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bauer.
I also move to approve the budget amendment within the Public Works Complex Fund in the amount of $8,050, with funding to come from the Public Works Complex Fund balance.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Under G, business items, number 3. Exciting one here. Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration of a proposal for citizen reporter software from Trazer LLC. I think this is a shared goal between the City Commission and city staff to enhance our customer service and improve our service request responsiveness. Staff, there was a team of staff across all departments that demoed various platforms that offered a citizen platform where it's a public-facing platform where citizens can put in concerns or service requests, and they're tracked through a system, and they receive responses to their tickets that are put in. They get status updates. They know the status of their ticket when it's navigating through the process or it's closed. It's a cloud-based municipal management system. Trazer has they have an Asset Central, Work Central, Citizen Reporter. Our first launch will be the Citizen Reporter. That's a priority for city staff, and I believe it's a need to improve our customer service response. The proposal from Trazer was the most comprehensive proposal of the demos that we participated in. It had minimal back-end configuration. It was the lowest cost option, and it had different modules that we could implement down the road, such as permitting, inspections, fleet, and asset management. So it was unanimous amongst staff to go with Trazer. It's about a 6-week turnaround for them to get us set up, so we would estimate a go-live date of May 1st. I did put in the agenda packet a webinar. If you haven't taken the opportunity to view that, you can view it. It is available to the public if you'd like to view the webinar. And also a couple sample communities that are using the platform that they provided to us. You can ping locations, you can take pictures of requests, and you can submit them through the ticketing system. So very innovative and will help us respond more efficiently. The cost for this platform is a one-time portal setup fee of $3,000, and then the monthly subscription cost is $700 a month, or $8,400 annually. So the first year of the contract will be $11,400. That's hosting, supporting, maintenance, updates, and whatnot is included in the monthly fee. There is sufficient budget in the IT fund to cover this, so there is no budget request. But I would look for a motion from the City Commission to accept the proposal from Tracer and authorize myself to execute the software as a service agreement.
Thank you very much, Acting City Manager, and I know that you've been working on this for a long time and have tried out a lot of different models of it, and appreciate your work. Anybody have any questions at all on this item? Commissioner Talentino, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I think anything we can do to improve service request times is a positive thing, by all means. And looking at this will definitely should help. Motion to accept a proposal from Tracer LLC to authorize the interim city manager to sign a software as a service agreement.
Support.
So motion and support, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Under G, business items, number 4, Acting City Manager Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 4 is from McGraw-Morris, January 2026 legal update. The commission has requested a legal update from our city attorney, Kevin Kilby of McGraw-Morris. I have the legal update. It is attorney-client privileged and exempt from FOIA, so I'm going to distribute them to the city commissioners. The original intent was to provide quarterly updates, March, June, September, and December. Going forward, reports may continue to be provided either monthly or quarterly. They can be presented at a meeting, or they could be distributed to the mayor and the commission via email under attorney-client privilege, depending on the commission's preferred platform. But the report that is in your hand is attorney-client privilege, and the commission would have to waive privilege for future reports to be available to the public.
Thank you very much, Acting City Manager. And you said this is a format that he uses with several communities?
Correct.
Okay. So we'll take just a couple minutes to read through it, and then at conclusion, we'll hand them back to Acting City Manager, and then we'll discuss how we want to see these in the future. Them all? All right, so we'd open up to the commission for discussion on how we want to receive it, if we want to have it in this format or get it in an email, in a attorney-client privileged email. And what, do we want quarterly or semi-annual or monthly? So I'd open it up to the commission for any suggestions. Mr. Bauer?
I think that if that's indicative of the information we're gonna receive on a quarterly basis, I think quarterly is probably good. I don't think we want any more information than that. One question I have, or any less either, I mean, you know, it seemed to be a decent amount to digest today. My other question, though, is can we not have a closed session just in case we have questions about any of those items, since they are attorney-client privilege? I mean, I don't have one today, but I'm talking about in the future.
Acting city manager, I think. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if the commission wants to have a closed session to review any of the items within the legal opinion, we could do that.
Yeah, 'cause I did have a question about one, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't feel compelled to make us go into closed session or anything like that, but it would have been nice.
And the attorney certainly is willing to come up to a closed session or to digitally join.
Yes, City Attorney Kilby, he's willing to come up to any commission meeting at any point in time at the request of the commission. He's here to serve you, so at your desire, he will make the trip up.
Mr. Rubenstein?
And thank you. And to Commissioner Bauer's point too, I feel like it would almost be worth maybe semi-annually going into closed session no matter what, just to get a recap. You know, of course we can do it as needed, but I think, you know, just looking at that, like Commissioner Bauer said, we probably don't need more information than what's on there, but, you know, there's a couple things that piqued my interest too. Again, not that big of a deal, but that would be good to be able to ask. So, as needed, and then no matter what, do it maybe a semi-annually, just as a recap.
Mr. Marvel?
I have to agree with Commissioner Bauer and Commissioner Rubenstein. I believe that we should be able to semi-annually have a closed session discussion about the topics.
Anybody else? So, how about the format? Would you like it in email format that would be protected on a quarterly basis?
I think the format that we had was fine.
We'd have more time to digest.
I was gonna say, I think email would be better, so we had a little more time to digest. So if we felt like we needed to go into closed
Right.
session, we had that option.
Any thoughts, Commissioner Boosted? Okay. So we'll look for a quarterly email from him in the format that we just saw, and then we'll schedule a semi-annual closed session at a public meeting. All right, so thank you for your input. G, business items number 5, acting city manager Schroeder.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 5 came up at the last meeting. It was a discussion on the spring cleanup voucher program. Since then, did some research, and then also historically from a program that we had pre-COVID. According to our assessing records, we have about 3,998 improved residential properties. So these are developed residential properties. And so under one option, which is what we have done in the past, is we can consider a voucher program with GFL. And talking to GFL, that would be their preferred option as well. The vouchers would be redeemable at the GFL location out on M28, the transfer station on Spruce Street. They no longer own, so that is not an option. The voucher would be a one-time use to cover disposal cost up to a specific dollar amount. It's a one and done, so if you implement a $25 voucher and the load is only $15 worth, the city would only be charged $15, but there's no residual value to the voucher. For reference, the current minimum charge at GFL is $35, which covers 250 pounds, and that's typically a standard pickup load, so even at a $25 voucher, it would not necessarily cover the full pickup load, depending on what's in there, obviously. We've identified some options that the commission could consider. You could, and I'm throwing a rough out here because, $25 was the voucher that we had historically. If you issued a $25 voucher to all developed residential properties, it'd be about $100,000, assuming full participation. You could implement a capped program, a $25 voucher on a first-come, first-served basis, not to exceed a certain dollar amount, or you can defer the consideration of the voucher program to the 26-27 budget work session, understanding that we would still have the community-wide cleanup event in 2026. As you know, the program is not currently budgeted in this fiscal year budget, so any appropriation would need to come from the general fund balance. And the commission's aware the general fund balance is currently below the adopted fund balance policy target and under a self-imposed corrective action to rebuild that fund balance. So if the commission approves any budget, it would be out of the clerk's department up to an amount that is determined appropriate by the commission.
Thank you very much, Acting City Manager Troyer. Anybody have any questions or comments on this? Commissioner Bauer?
Quick question, do we happen to know what the participation percentage was when we had this pre-COVID?
So when I look back historically, there was, it was 15,000 one year, it was more another year. It just depends. We did $1,225 vouchers with a $25,000 balance or budget. So it just depends on what they're redeemed at and if they're redeemed, because some people get a voucher but then they don't utilize it. So it was all over the board looking back historically.
I would think that we certainly would not see a 100% participation even in pickups of vouchers, let alone redemption of vouchers. I mean, if we were going to implement this, and if is the biggest two-letter word in the English language, if we were going to do that, certainly we would have to put a pretty low cap on it, budgetary considerations accounted for. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Rubenstein?
So I do think it's a good program and it's worth bringing back in some form or iteration, but in the spirit of being fiscally responsible and in the position we're in, I do think we should defer it to the 26-27 budget work session. But I am in favor of bringing it back in some capacity, just not jump into it right this second.
Anybody? Commissioner Busta?
Thank you. A question for the acting city manager. How much longer do we have on our current GFL contract?
I would have to look at that, but also understanding that really GFL is the only market in town.
Sure. I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity to potentially build this in within that contract rather than having, is there an opportunity to build in a spring cleanup collection as part of that contract? So just something, if we're down the road, that's fine. But I concur. I think this is a worthwhile program to do. I think it's a needed program. I do concur, though, that this is something we should be proactive about building this into our budget rather than reactive about.
Anybody else? Any comments? Yeah, I agree. I think it was pretty popular when we did it, and if we did $25,000 this year, it would only be for roughly a quarter of the homeowners could take advantage of it. It was a first come, first serve, and I'm not sure how fair that was when we did it, but and then a lot of people grabbed them and didn't use them. But I think it's something we should look at, and I agree with the rest of the commission that, while we're under this, self-imposed, corrective action plan on the, general fund, I think we should, take this up at, budget time. See where we would get the money. So, I think that is our, any other suggestions? So we'll talk about it at budget. Thank you very much for the info. All right, so moving on into H, city manager announcements and updates. I know you've given us a lot already, so.
I have
Anything
nothing.
else? No? All right, so moving on into item I, which is matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? Sure, if you'd like to come to the magic microphone and state your name for the record, please.
Hi, my name
Thank
is
you.
Brian Block, and it's only a coincidence that I happen to be here to listen to these ladies. But as a criminal defense attorney for 20 years, I'm not sure what they were asking for tonight, but you should give it to them. Everything they said would benefit this community.
I think they want you to be there on March 20th, Brian. Thank you very much. Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we'll move into item J, matters presented by the city commissions. Commissioners, Commissioner Rubenstein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is it possible to get an update? I know there's been some discussion in the community around the ice on the sidewalks. Just where's that stand in terms of sand or getting taken care of, whose responsibility it ultimately falls on, and
I think you're talking about downtown, correct?
correct.
Acting city manager.
Thank you for the question. I did talk to Public Service Director today, who reached out to Matheny, who is our downtown sidewalk snow plow contractor, and he was going to get some sand and salt out on the sidewalks. It is included into the contract, so when we became aware of it, we reached out to him, and he'll get it taken care of.
Thank you.
And again, if anybody has any issues, what is the customer service number rather than Facebook?
906-632-5700. Please contact customer service, and before long, we'll have a citizen reporter. You can put your complaints directly into the software, and it'll get routed to the appropriate department for follow-up.
Perfect. Anybody else? Commissioner Habusta, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just piggy up back off that a little bit. There's we've entered rut season with freezing and slush, and then melting, and then freezing and slush and melting. I know we talk a lot about our schedule for road maintenance during the heavy snow and things like that. Is there a plan for how we deal with, and I know Director Perrin, I haven't seen him here tonight, but is there a plan that you can kind of share with us for the public about how we deal with that slush and the freezing and the ruts and all that type of thing?
So obviously, our majors are pretty much down to bare pavement, and they're working on the locals and side streets. And so with the warm-up coming this week, fingers crossed, it'll be much easier for the crews to get in and break up some of that base and get that cleared out. So there's some priority areas that we know are rutted up, and we just haven't been able to get them broke up because it's been so cold. But with the warm-up coming, we anticipate we'll be able to get in there and get some of those streets cleared up.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Commissioner Bauer.
Your Honor, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are